if you're quiet, the master won't see you or hear you. We can sneak in and watch him work.
Welcome, Reaper Miniature fans. Today we have the Mystic Circle. Now I've been struggling to get hold of this on the Reaper UK website, so I had to order it directly from the USA website, but I'm glad I got it because it's a fantastic piece of kit. So today we are painting this beautiful item. I'm going to take this out of this box now and show you all the goodness inside. So here is what is in the box. It's a multi-part kit, and you just take all the parts off and we can stick them on as we need to go on. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to have a little think about how I'm going to play this out. The painting process is super simple and super easy, and we'll go through that together. But what it is, I want to be able to use this in my games, and so it's in scale with my board that I'm making. So what I'll be doing is I'll probably be mounting this on a 12 by 12 inch MDF board and then building around it and adding extra goodness to the base. So I'll come back once I've got everything prepped up and I know exactly what I'm going to do in my head. So I got a nice piece of MDF board, 12 inches by 12 inches, and I'll stick this onto the board. I think it will work very well. Now, I was looking at my board and I was thinking, what do I need? What do I need? I know what I need. I need a sacrificial altar. And it just so happens Reaper do a sacrificial altar. And here it is. This will work perfect. It's round. It fits in absolutely wonderful in the middle there. And that is going to work a treat. It's going to be just like Stonehenge on a summer's evening. All the occult people are like, ooh, absolutely beautiful. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick down all this. I'm going to add some gravel for my base to give texture using PVA glue. Oh, by the way, if you're interested in this miniature here, the SKU number is 77630, and you can find that on the Reaper Miniatures website. So there we are. I will get this all stuck on and I'll come back. I just quickly wanted to show you this. I've added some air drying clay. I've made some little pillars just to go and fill in these corners of this base. I just thought it would give a bit more once this is all built up. Just having these little stone pillars just on the outside just gives a little center to the ring going in. Also, I filled in all the gaps using my Vallejo plastic putty. Absolutely fantastic for filling in all these unsightly gaps. So what I'll do now is I will get this all based up using PVA glue and some gravel, and I'll come back once it's all dry. All the stones have been added now. Everything's glued on. My little air drying clay is hardened for my little extra pillars, as you can see. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this into the greenhouse and I'm going to spray the whole area with a grey primer paint, and then we're going to come back. All I've got to do then is put the ink washes all over it, let that dry, and then it'll be to the dry brushing stage, and then just add in all the little bits of flocking and stuff. But I'll come back once we get that primer coat on. So the grey primer is on. What I love about adding the primer is as soon as you've added that primer, everything comes together. All the stones that are made out of clay and the stones I added to the base, all of a sudden the diorama comes together and all blends together. So it really makes me happy when I see it like this. So what I'm going to do now is I've got some brown ink by MSP and I've got some black ink wash by MSP. What I'm going to do is all the rock areas, see, like on here I got some extra rubble. I got little piles of rubble. They'll all be with the black ink wash, and the stones, anything rock, will be stones, and the finer sand that I put on there, I'll be going over that with a brown ink wash. and then I can add grass and everything to that later. So what I'll do is I'll come back once I've added the 2 ink washes, and we can go on from there. Now, you can save a little bit of money on ink washes by making your own ink wash, but unfortunately I've had no luck in making my ink wash, and it has worked out more of a mess than a result. There are YouTube videos out there. All you gotta do is hunt around on YouTube, and there are people that can show you how to make ink washes, because for these large areas you're not really going to get much done with your little bottles of ink wash, and it does work out expensive. So if you can make a cheaper alternative, then that's up to you, but personally I'm going to be using this because I can. Okay, I'll come back once I've added all those ink washes. All my ink washes are now dry. As you can see, I've got your brown and the black ink washes, and I've patched them around the miniature, and already it looks fantastic. So what I've got now is I've got some Graveyard Bone and I've got some Jungle Camo, and these are the 2 colours I'm going to use just to highlight the rocks and add some green to the base. So what I'm doing, I'm going straight into my Graveyard Bone, taking the paint off, and I'm going to fly around all these rocks. This will just highlight all the edges and make them stand out more. Very simple to do. We just go over all the stone with our Graveyard Bone. What I'll do is I will go and finish all these stones with the Graveyard Bone, or as you'll be watching me for hours, and I will come back and move on to the green stage then and show you what to do with the greens. But like I say, what we're doing is going over all the stone areas with our Graveyard Bone. This gives a beautiful stone looking highlight to our miniature, and as you can see, it's popping already. Okay, so I've done all the dry brushing with my Graveyard Bone, and as you can see, absolutely beautiful. What I need now is to add some green. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go straight into my Jungle Camo, and I am going to start adding around the bottom of the rocks and around the base. Super simple, gives an instant effect of old and aged stone with the moss growing around. Let's go around all the bottoms of all your rocks. And it all will match in. Absolutely beautiful. Super fast and easy. just adding some to the base. So what we're going to do now is only just little bits of green here and there, because what I'm going to do now is add the flocking, and I will add some grass, maybe some leaves, and then we can call this done. Perfect little base. A bit more green here and there. See how simple that is? Just get that paint on and you get a lovely effect going all around, and it's instantly aged and made it more real, believable. There we are. Okay, that's good. I've got some nice variations in colour. You got your browns, your greens, your greys, and it looks like old stone, so that's fantastic. All I'm going to do now is add some grass flocking, and I'm going to call that done. So I'll come back and show you the completed miniature. So here is the finished miniature, and it looks fantastic. I'll be using this in many of my games in the future. As you can see, you've got all the flocking added now. I make my own little mixture of leaves. I use a leaf cutter by Green Stuff, and I cut these little leaves out of real leaves and add them to the base. And I used a dark grass colour, which is the grass is a mixture of browns and greens. I didn't want the bright green grass colour, I wanted it all to blend in, so I've got like an autumn mix, which I mixed some brown and some green together to give a lovely effect on the base. So there we are. This is the Mystic Circle. Absolutely beautiful. Recommended. If you enjoy what I'm doing, then please hit that sub button. If you want to support the channel, then please become my patron. All patrons are added to the end credits of all my videos. So until next time.
Goodbye, my fellow ones. Sleep well. Dream of evil paintbrushes.